Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first edition of The Voice Artist interviews and podcasts in the entertainment and animation industry. I'd like to welcome and thank our very special guest today, Franklin Enea of B.E.R. and Frank Enea and the Crooked Hearts, two wonderful bands. Go and check them out. B.E.R. is a fictional band from the Teen Titans Go Cartoon Network series, and Frank Enea and the Crooked Hearts is a real band that you guys can go check out right now. There's a link in the description below to Frank's website. Great music, great guy. Unfortunately, we did not get the chance to record a podcast completely together, so he was kind enough to offer me a recording of him answering some of the questions I asked him. So I spliced together some things for us, and I hope you all enjoy it very much. Thank you again, Mr. Enea. You're a great guy, and hopefully we'll get Carl and Billy on the show soon. Without further ado, question one. So, Frank, how did your music career begin?
I would say that I really got interested in music when I got my first Rolling Stones album for Christmas many years ago, and something about the Stones that got me hooked on music and playing guitar and singing. And from there, I picked up the guitar at probably 7 or 8 years old, and then at around 15, 16, I started getting a lot better at it, and I started to play with my brother Paul, who's also a musician, and we had several bands together. And I ended up basically doing my own band, Frank Enea Band, which turned into Frank Enea and the Crooked Hearts, and that's what I'm currently doing. And I'm also a member of a popular TV band from the show Teen Titans Go, and we had a hit song called The Night Begins to Shine. B stands for Burnett, E stands for Enea, that's me, and R stands for Regan.
So, Frank, just in general, it's one of my favorite songs, The Night Begins to Shine. I listen to it all the time, and I wanted to know, what was the development behind it? How did you meet Carl and Billy? How was it written? When was it written?
There's an interesting history behind that track, because I actually wrote the song in the mid-1980s. So that's why it has that 80s feel to it, and that was years before it aired on the show, obviously, and it was influenced by British invasion and new wave bands of the 1980s, and primarily Duran Duran, their first album. So jumping ahead into the 2000s is when I met Carl Burnett, who at the time was renting a room for me in my recording studio in Westchester County, New York. And Carl is a writer and a wonderful producer for Telepictures, which is basically a music company that provides music to Warner Brothers and shows that they're affiliated with. Yeah, so in around 2005, Carl was asked to submit to Telepictures a handful of songs that were not related to that show, and Carl kindly shared his workload with me and asked me if I had any material that sounded like a 1980s Duran Duran song. And voila! I certainly did, and I knew exactly which one to pull out of the can because that melody really stood out for me, and I always remembered it. So I slapped the whole thing together for him, and with the melody and the vocals and everything, and and the rest of it is history.
I find it very interesting how it was written such a long time ago. It's a great talent, and of course YouTube wasn't available back then in the 80s, but I feel like in the right hands, uploaded and monetized, that could have done very well. When did Billy get in on this?
Yeah, so I put the music and vocals together for Carl, and once he got the track, he put his magical twist on it and handed it over to Billy to sing on it. And I believe they met a year or two before Carl met me on the road, and he handed him a version of the song on the CD and asked him if he could sing on it. And the rest of it is history. So once Billy sang on the song, it was a perfect match, and it added a real sweet, sweet element to the track, and was really the last missing link on that track and the icing on the cake. And it was really cool how that all came along. And this was around August of 2005.
I find it extremely fascinating about how sometimes some things work out the right way and all at the hands of fate. So what was the craziest thing about the song's success, the song in general, the way it was perceived and executed throughout the last few years since its debut on the Titans.
To me, the craziest thing about it is that the majority of it was written years and years before, and I didn't even have to refer to a cassette. I just remembered it and recut it.
I find that very interesting. Um, it should have been discovered a long time ago. You have such a great talent, I gotta say though. When was its Titan debut again? I remember watching it. I think the day it did come out.
Jumping to 2015, The Night Begins to Shine first appeared in an episode called Slumber Party. And that's where it went haywire, and people started looping it on YouTube. And at that point, it went kind of viral. And then the producers decided to dedicate an entire episode to the song. And that episode was called 40-40-20.
I'm a big fan of the show, and I've watched that episode a few times. And I understand 40% goes to you, 40 to Carl, and 20 to Billy. What exactly is the 40-40-20 mean in all of this?
40-40-20 is actually the royalty split between us three.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Well, anyway, jumping forward to last summer in August, I understand there was a 4-part special for Teen Titans Go! Night Begins to Shine, where there was also 2 new debuted songs, which I also happen to like very much. Can you explain a little bit about it?
The 4-part series aired in August of 2017, and that's when the song hit number 1 worldwide on iTunes and number 23 on the Billboard Rock charts. And the other 2 tracks, Forever Mine and Rise Up, also charted. And those 2 tracks also came together in a similar fashion.
That must have been an amazing achievement. Great feeling when you top the charts in the iTunes store. That's amazing. And not only did you just top it with Night Begins to Shine, but the other songs even made the list. And that's an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations to all of you. The song was definitely great enough to top the charts, and it was definitely great enough to get a cover by 2 well-known faces in music, or 5 if you count the band itself. Can you tell us about who did a cover on The Night Begins to Shine?
The Night Begins to Shine was covered by CeeLo Green and Fall Out Boy, and they did really, really awesome versions of the song.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the way they used it in the show was amazing, and I love their covers. It can never match the original, but they definitely got 2 different feels to it, and you could still feel the emotions and heart racing you get from the original. And I think it's great that they still connected with the original song and grasped the concept of it. Now, what is the future of B.E.R? Are you guys planning to go back in any new episodes? Is there anything else you can tell us about what's going to go on in the future?
Yes, if we were asked to write more songs or participate in more shows, we would absolutely love to do that. And you never know, there might be a spin-off from the show, and how cool would that be?
I think that would be absolutely amazing for a show all about B.E.R. A spin-off of that would be amazing. Something definitely new for the network. Big fanatic of cartoons, and I would watch that all the time. We'll definitely see what the future brings with that. And on the topic of B.E.R. being a show and on the show itself, what was it like seeing yourselves as cartoons?
I think that was an unbelievable experience for all of us. Just to be part of the Warner Brothers family was a real honor for me, because all my favorite cartoon characters were always the Warner Brother cartoon characters like Bugs Bunny.
I think that's absolutely amazing. I'd love to be in your shoes in that case, because I'm such a big cartoon fanatic, and being on Teen Titans Go or any show is absolutely an honor, and I'm glad you guys got that opportunity. Future of yourself, though, aside from the band, aside from cartoons and all, what's it looking for the Crooked Hearts?
As far as my music career goes, my main project and my baby for the last few years has been Frank Enea and the Crooked Hearts, in which I am the lead singer, the guitarist, and the writer for. And we just released our 3rd album called Sunshine in My Head. I enjoy really working with my bandmates, Martin Stroh, Brian Newsholm, and Alex Vritzevitsky, which are really my good friends, and we have a great time playing music.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Mr. Frank Enea. You guys heard it first from Frank. Go check him out. I'll leave the links in the description for B.E.R. Official and Frank Enea and the Crooked Hearts. Got some great music on there. I've checked some of that out myself. Great guys, great music. I'm sure you all enjoy it. Look forward to the next podcast. Upcoming, we've got Johnny Lananen from Impractical Jokers along with Rob Emmer from Impractical Jokers. And we've also got C.H. Greenblatt on the way. So please stay on the lookout. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you support Mr. Enea. He's a great guy. Thank you so much again for being on the show. Really appreciate it, and maybe we'll get to do a little bit more in the future. Thank you again, Frank. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Like, comment, subscribe once more, and be sure to check out my other channels in the link description below. Thank you again. Goodbye.